Hey guys, so I'm gonna be doing this Reddit reading story video with Minecraft playing in the background type of thing. This is actually my first time, and I've been enjoying like these reading Reddit stories videos, and it's been helping me, with doing my chores while I'm playing those videos in the background. And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to try to make these kind of videos. So, will I get you to fall asleep? Maybe, I don't know, but I just hope you watch till the end because these are some, rather interesting Reddit stories I have found. And I do want to give a fair warning. English isn't my first language, so there may be some, mispronunciations here and there. And I just got off work and I may sound a little bit tired and sometimes my accent is gonna slip out, when I'm reading these stories. So I hope you just don't mind it, and I hope you guys just enjoy the amazing, lucky Minecraft gameplay in the background. And let's just get into it, I guess. All right, so let's just get into the first story right here. The title is "Boyfriend Fake Death and Then Called My Reaction Manipulative." Me and boyfriend, I'm 21F, he's 24M, together for 3 years. Live apart but have or had plans to rent together soon. Everything perfect before this. Backstory: I have a history of self harm, have done since I was 11 years old. The last time I did it was 2 years ago. I have some brutal scars, but I'm doing much better and I'm in therapy. It's been a while since I even had the urge. My boyfriend had an ex before me who played mind games a lot. I feel it's relevant as he sometimes thinks that I'm playing games when I'm not. For example, he was wary when we started dating that I would self harm for attention or do it to punish him. His ex would threaten things like that if he ever left her. I've never ever done this, and despite my struggles, I'm pretty good with being patient and communicative. Until this, I considered us to have a really healthy relationship. On to the main story. Boyfriend went out drinking with his friends. I usually hear from him as he gets home, 2 a.m. ish, to let me know that he is home and safe, but I didn't hear anything last night. I figured he just forgot. No biggie. I went to bed as normal. I woke up at 11 a.m. to a bunch of missed calls from his mother. They live together. I called her back and she texted at 1 p.m. that she couldn't talk. I was kinda worried and told her as much. She said my boyfriend didn't get home last night and was in a crash and didn't make it. This was super weird to me since I get on well with his mom and would never expect to be told this via text. After some more texting, I fully believed my boyfriend had passed away that morning, and I totally shut down. The people I lived with were all out that day, so I was alone. Grief set in immediately, and I had an extremely bad relapse on my self harm. At that point, I didn't even care. I was just hurting so much, and my usual coping techniques just weren't doing their job. I listened to old voice notes of his and even sent one telling him how much I loved him through the most unhinged sobbing I've ever done. Well, he arrived at my house 20 minutes later saying it was a prank, since he got into a small bump and thought I'd get mad about him driving drunk as well, as about him mushing up his car a little. And him and his friends came up with this plan just to make me happy he was alright. So they took his mom's phone and the above happened. I obviously was thankful he wasn't dead, but I had a million other much stronger emotions. I was so angry he drove drunk, so angry he saw nothing wrong with it, so angry that he would lie about something so serious, and absolutely heartbroken that he let me sit in grief for over an hour until I sent a voice note that made him feel bad, plus lots of other things I'm still struggling to articulate. He found out I harmed and flew off the handle. He said I punished him and turned a harmless prank into something much more serious and I ruined the joke of it. He said I was guilting him for having fun and now he can't trust I won't do it again. He even suggested that I stay in hospital for my mental issues for a few weeks and crank up therapy. He said he can't leave me if he wants now or else I'll act like this, just like his ex. I am beyond hurt. I probably should look into therapy if I'm still resorting to it. I admit. But this was not an everyday anxiety or even a breakup. I thought he had died. I'm also very aware that his actions were massively shitty and he is being so manipulative in the aftermath. How is it a punishment if I thought he was dead? I absolutely would not react like this if he just broke up with me, and I have never said or hinted at that. Not really sure what to do now. My gut tells me to leave him over this, but I'm so unsure. Okay, so if this was to be like an AITO post, I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think she was overreacting at all. Like, honestly, hearing your partner's death, or hearing that you get the news that your partner died in a car accident, that's not like any harmless prank as this guy claims it to be. Like, I would understand why she would react like that. I mean, if someone that I love died, I would probably get into a DUI myself, but that's not the worst part. I mean, the prank itself was really bad. Using his mom's phone just to tell her that, oh, my son died, your boyfriend died. Okay. What what's crazy is that, he got her harming herself, and then he came to her house, and that guy didn't even apologize. Like, instead of apologizing, he just straight up told her to go to a hospital and get some therapy. Like, if this guy is not an asshole, then I don't know what he is. This guy is just the worst, yo. Okay, so 13 days after that original post, she posted an update. So, long story short, I broke up with him for the following reasons: drunk driving, took his mother's phone and made me think it was her, deception, telling me he was dead, deception, and extreme emotional distress, letting me think that for hours. I think she's talking about how he let her think that he was dead for hours. Okay. And then not being sorry for any of these things. Yeah, that's true. What an asshole for that. Telling me I'm too sensitive, being mad at me for relapsing. I still won't blame him for the relapse though, as many people here wanted me to. That is on me, and I'm still going to therapy regularly for that. So, for those interested, I took a few days to myself. I did speak over the phone to his mom, and she was incredibly apologetic on his behalf. I taught her how to put a passcode on her phone. After that, we met up, and I outlined the things I listed above. He seemed apologetic and sincere about all of them, and listened to me well. Unfortunately, he didn't quite understand that being apologetic wouldn't get me to change my mind on ending the relationship, so his true colors came out in the end. He got annoyed at me for ending it and again told me I was dramatic, and other invalidating arguments. Oh well, I said what I needed to say, and that's enough closure for me. Okay, so that was the end of this whole story. And honestly, I'm so happy that she broke up with him, because like that thing that he did, that was just outline crazy. She made the right choice to dump him, and then but she did mention that she still won't blame him for the relapse that he caused. And I honestly think that she should 100% blame the whole relapsing thing on him. I honestly think that she didn't do anything wrong, and this was totally the guy's fault, and he deserved to get dumped by her. Period. Alright, so for the next story, this is a pretty old one. This is from May 4th, 2016. My mom was responsible for my dog being killed. Then it got worse. Don't know how to handle this situation. I'm really struggling here, especially with Mother's Day just up ahead and everything. I could use some help. I got my dog, Golden Lab Mix, in 2008 when she was a puppy. The last year I have been moving and traveling, and my mom lives alone and has a big backyard, and she offered to take the dog in. Doc was an incredibly well behaved girl because I worked really hard training her. My whole life we had dogs, but they were never trained properly and left in the backyard. I remember my mom always getting frustrated with the dogs because they handled so poorly, unleashed or jumped on people, etc. Because none of the adults in our family took the time to train. When I got dog, I swore I'd have one of those dogs you saw in the movies. So, Doc was great off leash. She would stay by my side and knew all level of commands after years of work. When I left her with my mom, I was incredibly anxious because I knew I had a firmer hand than my mom as far as discipline and knew my dog had a certain relationship with me that she might not have with others. So I made it explicitly clear to her to always have dog on a leash. Even though everyone in my family knew she was great off leash, not on walks or in the park, I'm talking just in the front yard or something. But I always nervous and hyper aware of the other dogs and other people, cars, etc., and was quick to get to dog or command her back in the house, etc. I remember when I came home to visit for Christmas and saw dog and how happy she was. But then I saw my mom having her off leash while she made trips to and from the car. I put dog on a leash and told her, I know she doesn't run off or anything, but you just never know. I mean, is that a phone call you want to make to me? Haha. And she agreed. Dog always on leash. Well, I did get a phone call a few days ago, which I knew to be serious, since mom only calls when it's serious. It was simply my mom's sobbing voice saying, Dog has passed. It's already over. I'm so sorry. I couldn't process, but I knew how, and I told my mom I'd call her back. I cried, called some friends, waited a few hours while I processed and called her back. My mom told me my worst fear. You were right. I should have had her on a leash. I'm so sorry. I was cleaning up the front yard, and she was just by my side. Then she saw a big dog cross the street and just bolted, and the car hit her. I took her to the vet, but they lost her. I was supposed to protect her, and I didn't. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. The whole time my mom was crying. I knew she loved that dog too, and the guilt. I can't even imagine how difficult that call was. She also had to call my bro and sis. Sis in particular was very attached to dog and would take her camping, hiking, swimming when she had the time. So I told her, I forgive you, it's okay, I love you, I gotta go, and hung up. A few texts back and forth. My mom telling me how hard it is coming home to an empty house, and me just being sorta numb. She texted asking if I wanted the body to be buried or cremated. I texted back cremated and she said okay. I wasn't angry, just incredibly sad and depressed about the whole thing. That was 5 days ago. Well, I didn't call my mom or get a chance to see her. She also didn't call or text besides an occasional, how are you doing? Which I would reply as well as can be, etc. I didn't get any texts, phone calls from my siblings. I was on Facebook yesterday when I saw my sister make a big dramatic post about dog, along with my brother, his girlfriend, and her kids. My mom and my sister all spreading ashes on the beach. I can't even describe how devastated I felt. It was like I got punched in the heart. I called my mom, and that's when the anger came true. I asked what the hell they were doing, and my mom was stunned and stammered they were just spreading dog's ashes. I demanded to know why I wasn't notified they were doing this, and my mom replied that it just sorta happened, and that my bro went with her to pick up the urn, and sis happened to be home, and they all were talking about it, and sis was just so devastated. She needed some closure before going back to college. I could tell my mom knew she fucked up, but she had no explanation why I wasn't texted, called, fucking anything regarding this. I felt like a crazy person because it was just this circular I don't know over and over again from her. I feel so hurt and disrespected. I asked if they kept any ashes and my mom quietly said no. I hung up. She's texted me and called multiple times, but I haven't even answered. I am so beyond hurt and angry. I've never lost something so dear to me, so I have no idea how rational I am. I understand it's just a dog, but she wasn't. She was my friend. I raised her, trained her, took her with me everywhere. And it was just this last year I didn't feel it was fair to her to travel so much with her. And I trusted her with my mom, and this all happened. I don't even know how to process. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't. I can't even look at my phone because of all the guilty, apologizing texts. I just want to be left alone. But I also don't want my mom to hurt. But I'm so confused as to why she would do this, or what possible logic she could have. Advice would be appreciated. Okay, so that was part one of the whole story. So, long story short, her mom was dog watching, and the dog was off leash, which she probably has told her not to do so. And then the dog got hit by a car and then died. And the family took the dog's ashes without the original poster and then spread them on the beach. So the original poster found out about the whole thing on Facebook, and she right now has trouble processing the whole thing. Well, is just this is more than just about the dog. It's about her family not including her in such important event. In this case, spreading the ashes of her favorite dog. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't say that anyone is in the wrong, but I would say, the least her mom or any of her siblings could have done was just to let her know that, hey, we're actually gonna spread her ashes today. I mean, that would at least mitigate the damage. But and then there is an update where the original poster got an email from her mom, and so the email goes as, "Dear OP, I know you are grieving and can't talk to me right now, and I understand that. I know it's my fault, and I thank you for not saying it is. But you would be right to do so, and if you did, that would be okay too. I can't forgive myself, so I understand if you can't forgive me right now. You trusted me with your dog, and I let you both down. It never should have happened. I knew better. You told me to never let her in the front yard without a leash. Just 30 seconds was all it took. If I had just turned back a split second earlier, she would have followed me. I will relive it over and over in my head for as long as I breathe. She was such a big part of everyone's life. We all have memories. It is unbearable to me that she is gone. I just love her so much. We all did. I didn't even realize how much I talked to her until the house was empty. I can't sleep in the bedroom. I can't be in the backyard and see her toys. I have no reason to go home anymore. But she was your baby. You picked her out, you raised her, you trained her, and she was always so happy to see you. She was so happy in every way. If I had just let her go back to you, she would be here, but you generously let her be with me. I'm so sorry, and there's nothing I can do to make anything better. I'm so, so sorry about the spreading of the ashes. I had no right to do that. None of us did. I don't have any explanation other than we were all emotional. I don't have the words to express how sorry we all are. I don't want sympathy. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I am feeling sorry for how I failed all of you, but especially you and Dog. I deserve every minute of this pain, but you don't, and that I will regret eternally. I love you, Mom." Well, but at this point, the original poster hasn't responded to the email. But I'm gonna keep it a buck though. If I were to receive this sort of email, probably be hard for me to kind of respond to it as well. But I'm glad that her mom knows that she was in the wrong, and she, was being sympathetic and apologized for the whole thing. And so right after that email, she posted another update, which was the next day. So thank you to everyone who left a comment and who also told their stories of their own pet loss situations. I read everyone. I don't know if anyone cares for an update, but I have one. To answer questions, I did send my mom $100 a week for food, toys, flea meds, and also paid any unexpected vet bills. Since traveling has died down a lot for me for work, I told my mom earlier this year I could take her back anytime, especially if she needed a break. But I think my mom really dragged her feet since she loved dogs so much. I like that my mom had someone in the house with her, especially a bigger dog who could alert her to things outside and also help her exercise with walking. There wasn't any urgent need to get her back ASAP, but I was ready or willing to. I did also visit when I could, at least once or twice a month, for dinners, movie, etc. So, update. My brother called me in the afternoon yesterday, after my mom had sent the email. He's 28, a weightlifting bartender, dude bro kind of guy, and it was really hard on him when it all happened since his mom, little sister, and girlfriend, and her two little kids were around when all this happened, and they were all upset and crying. He called to ask how I was doing and to let me know he was sorry because it was just really overwhelming and he had no idea what to do. My mom was a total mess on the day, and my brother left work early to be there for her. His girlfriend was also in the picture since his girlfriend and her kids were playing in the backyard at my mom's when all this happened. Girlfriend heard my mom screaming and helped get dog into the car. Bro let me know that it was sis who was adamant they hold some type of impromptu ceremony after they received the ashes a few days later. He and mom both brought up me, but she stated that it was obvious I wanted time alone and that these types of things upset me, so it was best to do it just them. Then she started crying, and I guess that made everyone cave. Apparently, it was a group cremation, which I didn't know was a thing. I assumed it would be individual, like with people. That knowledge sort of helped me since it didn't feel like it was exclusively dog, which might sound weird, I don't know. On the day, my bro called the vet and asked about the paw print thing, like they make a cast of it or something. The vet said my mom had opted out, but my brother asked if it was too late. They said it wasn't, so he said, please do that. I don't blame my mom for opting out. She wasn't in the best headspace, and we've had morbid conversations before where she has said things like that creep her out and upset her. But my brother thought of me and thought I might like it, so I really appreciated that he did that. Now for the weird part. Apparently, at the beach, my sis took a lot of pictures and also used Snapchat and Instagram, which my bro knows since she was bitching about the lack of signal. He got angry but didn't say anything since he didn't feel it was appropriate. I asked about the Instagram since I wasn't aware she had one. He texted me her account and holy shit, there were 4 posts about dogs' death and from the beach. More pictures than I'd seen on Facebook. Apparently, my sis is popular on campus and has thousands of followers on Instagram. Not only did she post about dogs' death with big descriptions and photos, she also straight up stole 7 pictures I had uploaded to my own Facebook over the years, like when Doc was a puppy or in training classes or chilling on the couch. Photos I took before Sis had even met her. She stole them from my Facebook, slapped a shitty filter on it, and claimed it as her own on her Instagram, and put these big descriptions and hashtags to them. A lot of you guys guessed it. She did it for the likes or comments, whatever. Or I'm being incredibly angry and not realizing this is how she grieves. I have no idea. It just left me feeling hurt and creeped out. I thanked him for calling me and told him I'd text him later, but that I just needed some space. He said no problem, and he'd let me know when he could get the paw print to me. I called my mom after I spoke with Bro and told her I got her email. She cried again and apologized. It was tough to listen to. She told me she brought a peony to plant in the garden in the backyard in Doc's memory, but that it was too hard for her right now to do since the backyard is emotional for her at the moment. I asked if she wanted to do any Mother's Day things this Sunday, and she said she hadn't even thought of Mother's Day, and that she didn't really feel like celebrating. She asked if I wanted to do something for the dog this weekend, like maybe plant the peony, but I said I didn't feel comfortable with having Mother's Day associated with that sort of thing. It was kinda downer. She asked if there was anything else I wanted to do, and I told her the truth that I didn't feel like doing anything either, and that I kinda needed some space. She said she understood, and that we can always do something later to make up for it. I didn't say anything about Ashes or Sis and her Instagram or that whole thing. It wasn't brought up at all, other than my mom being sorry for everything. Not sure if I should mention Sis. I think my mom would get upset all over again. But then, I'm not sure if this is just how that generation grieves or something. My sis is incredibly hard to read, but we never have gotten along since she's very extroverted and opinionated, and I'm less so. I have no idea the next time I will see sis or how I'll react when I do so. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We were already low contact since we don't have a lot in common, and she works or goes to school away from me. Not sure what to do about that. Sis turns 21 in June, and before all this happened, my mom asked what big present we should get her. Uh, and that was it for this story. Okay, but this when the sister used the dog's death for I don't know some internet cloud on Instagram. I don't know. I think that's just such a Gen Z thing to do, using your pet's death for Instagram likes and comments. But yeah, I just hope that one day, she grows up and thinks about what she did, and hopefully she apologizes to the original poster for what she's done. Well, it's not really like a bad thing, but still, I do think like this whole situation could have been handled way better than how it went down. But still, considering how everyone was in distress at that moment of time, except the little sister, I don't think they really had a choice. So let's just end it right there, I guess. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the next story. This is an AITA story. So, am I the asshole for refusing to return a lost dog that was clearly well loved? This was posted back in May 12th, 2022. I mean, 2020. Alright, so about 7 months ago, a friend found a dog near her house. I took her in and called animal control. They said to bring her in to look for a microchip. She was underweight with dirty fur. Animal control couldn't find a microchip, so they said I could hold on to her for a week and they would list her on the website. And if nobody claimed her, I could adopt her. So that's exactly what happened. My dog now has shiny fur and is very healthy. She is polite and walks well on a leash. She does a lot of tricks. I have depression and anxiety, and she's my support animal. She's honestly the light of my life. Last month, I joined a Facebook group for the same unusual pure breed that my dog is. I posted a picture of her in the group. A woman was tagged, and a few hours later, she DMs me. She said my dog was her dog, and she was so thankful I found her and wanted to arrange to come get her. She offered to pay me for taking good care of her. I thought she was trying to scam me since she lived across the country, but when I looked into it, I found her Instagram with a lot of dog pictures and videos. My dog has very unique markings, so it was unmistakably the same dog as the one in her pictures. My dog is a show champion and had a lot of training to do obedience, agility, and a few others I've never heard of. She has a lot of fancy titles too. My dog was clearly well cared for, well trained, and well loved. She said her house caught fire last year and she lost everything, including my dog who ran away. Nobody knows how she traveled so far or what happened between when she got lost and when my friend found her. She never stopped looking for my dog. She even had a video of my dog as a super cute puppy getting a microchip. No idea why the shelter and my vet couldn't find it, but my dog had one at some point. Here's the part where I might be the asshole. I told the woman I appreciated the great job she did with my dog for the first few years of her life. She's 5. And I was sorry to hear about her circumstances. But I couldn't give up my beloved girl. She's my support animal, so I'm not even sure I could live without her. I offered to send her pictures regularly, but she turned really nasty. I got tons of hateful messages from people I don't even know. I had panic attacks whenever I got notifications because her friends acted like it's my fault. I didn't choose for this special dog to change my life so much anymore. Then she chose for my dog to get lost. I ultimately blocked her because she wouldn't leave me alone. Since she was listed with the shelter for the whole period and no microchip was found, I've adopted her and she's mine. I'm legally in the right, but am I morally wrong? I know she loves my dog and wants her back, but I can't picture a life without her. Not one where I'm happy anyway. If I could clone my dog and give this chick one, I would. Am I the asshole if I think about myself and my health and keep my dog since it's legally my right to anyway? Okay, so from what I think, although it is hard for me to say this, but she is the asshole in this case because it's alright. So, first of all, she is not the original owner of the dog, and she should probably return it. Although, although the dog is her emotional support, it's still not her dog, you know. And I think it's best if she would return it to the original owner. But there is an update here, which may seem like there is some sort of plot twist. Okay, I'm gonna just read it. So this update was posted about 2 weeks after the original post, which I just read just now. Okay, so my previous post got an unexpectedly massive response. I got thousands of messages, most of which weren't kind, and many outright threatened me to harm me. It wasn't easy, but I read every single comment and message. The shelter let me foster my dog for the stray hold when they couldn't find a chip. They were pretty full, and it kept her out of a cage. I would have happily given her back if she was claimed then. When nobody did, I took her to be spayed and signed adoption papers. You don't see her breed a lot, but it's not rare. I won't say what breed, but not a retriever or equally common. The shelter had her listed as the right breed. I learned the unique markings aren't always so unique. I've since found 2 other dogs that could be her twin. I compared her to the pics of the woman's dog again. Her dog's face is what made me think they're the same, but my dog has a tiny bit of white on one of her toes that the other dog doesn't. 2 days after making my last post, I took her to the vet. The vet said fur color can be affected if the skin and hair follicles are damaged. She didn't have a toe injury when she was found, so she was probably born that way. The vet scanned her whole body and took x rays because it was eating me not to know. No microchip anywhere. The vet said they can fall out, but it's super rare. Her teeth are very white, so the vet thinks she's 2 or 3 years old. I said she was 5 because that's how old the woman said her lost dog was, and initially I did think they were the same. She doesn't know special commands like the woman's dog in her videos. She walks nice, sit, come, but won't pick stuff up or other commands her dog knew. My therapist and I talked about my selfish response to the stress and how I'd like to react in the future. We explored what my life might look like if I gave my dog up and talked about my support people and coping skills because it isn't fair for my dog to be my only support. I unblocked the woman to say I want what's best for the dog, but she's not unhappy and loves her life with me. I offered to send in my dog's DNA to compare to her dog's DNA. She said she didn't have her dogs to compare. I suggested she ask the breeder for a relative's DNA. She said that wasn't an option. I said I'm uncomfortable giving my dog if we aren't 100% sure our dogs are the same dog. She was angry and still thinks they're the same despite the evidence. I consulted with an animal lawyer who said my case is strong since I adopted legally. The shelter followed protocol, there's no microchip, reasonable doubt in markings, and age. And the woman won't provide DNA of her dog or a relative. There are a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences too. I'll return her if DNA confirms a match, but until then, she stays with me. She needs stability, and I won't give her away on coincidence alone. Alright, so that literally changes the whole story. I honestly think it's not the same dog. There was the thing with the microchip as well. Although the doctor did mention about the possibility of the microchip falling out, but I read through the comments and a lot of people are saying that it's a really rare case, like a real extremely rare case for a microchip to fall out of a dog. And so technically this dog wasn't microchipped in the first place, which clearly means that this isn't the dog. And not to mention that the original owner can't provide like any DNA to match it, which I do agree with what the original poster is doing. If they can't provide any DNA to kind of like prove that that is their dog, there shouldn't be like any point of returning the dog to them since they have no proof that it's their dog. So I would say she is not the asshole for keeping the dog. But if that dog was truly the dog that was lost, then I'd say that she is an asshole. But I still believe like it's not the dog that was lost. So I don't think she is an asshole for the way she's reacting. Alright, I think that will be it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. If you guys have anything that you guys want me to read for the next video, you can just be free to like comment anything or any stories. Like also just let me know about what you think of this video. It is my first time as well. If there's anything that I can improve on, just let me know. Just comment anything, please. And I hope that, with my tired voice, you may or may not have fallen asleep. Well, I hope you guys did though. And I want to thank you guys for watching till the end. And I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.